Hello guys and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero, where we're back in the Radvansky Center. I just had to repeat the choices for watching all of the videos, and I'm very curious what else, or what these videos are going to be, and also what else the tests are, and if we'll ever meet the two women talking about this. Probably. Somehow it'll loop in, possibly, who knows. Let's just go see some videos, because we said all of them. Question. The camera focused on a table, passed through the doorway, then focused on another table. Which object present on the first table was also present on the second table? Picture is too blurry to make anything out. Sorry, I kind of spaced out on that slow pan through the door. I didn't even notice the tables. Someone would be doing a show in their normal time slot and then suddenly the feed would cut. We'd still be broadcasting, but our signal was totally jammed. Oh, like interference? I mean total blackout. Then this video would come on, clearly shot in our studio at some point, and it was her, Weaver Marquez. She'd be standing in the middle of the studio, facing the camera. I guess let's do left to right. Question. At the beginning of the video, you were asked to make note of a memory from earlier in the day and associate it with one of the objects on the table screen. Which of the objects did you choose? The folded map. Was this object present on the second on-screen table after the camera passed through the doorway? Let's go with not the same one, but another one sort of like it. It's a bit fuzzy in my memory, but I do remember the sound, this awful hum, like that was how she did it. She made a hum so sinister it drove our signal into hiding. What, I don't know. I want to call this game strange, but that doesn't quite cut it, does it? Question. You were asked to make note of a fond memory from childhood and associate it with one of the objects on the table on screen. Which object did you choose? An empty bottle. Was this object present on the second on-screen table after the camera passed through the doorway? Did I forget? I don't think so. Then there were these on-screen captions, exactly the same every time. I don't remember what they said. Something creepy. Wow. This one is music. The video began in one room and passed through a doorway into another room. In each room, a piece of music was playing. Was it the same piece of music? I wasn't listening to the music. Was the music in the first room optimistic or pessimistic? Oh, I clicked pessimistic, I think. Just kind of twitched on the mouse. Well, it's still playing the audio, but not letting me do anything. Did I bug it out? What's happening, game? Tell me, what's happening? Yeah, somehow I did something wrong here. I clicked too fast? Is that somehow what happened? There's nothing, nowhere here I can click. Oh my, do I just have to load it and hopefully it loads from the same spot? Quit and select save slots. please? There and back again. And now I want to go reread Lord of the Rings. Great. And now I'm confusing myself or making myself wonder if whether that was actually Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. The first chapter name, isn't it? Oh, I should stop talking. Yeah, we went through this dialogue. Mixed feelings. All of them. Yep, okay, yep. Cool. Let's go again, shall we? I didn't even notice the tables. Well, you can get through this pretty quickly if you want. I picked the map here, and it was someone like it, or a map like it. This was the empty bottle, and don't think so. Okay, back to this one. Removing my hand from the mouse. Okay. I wasn't listening to the music. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick optimistic. I don't know. Pessimistic. We had a title maker at the station, but it was a different font. I guess she recorded a WEVP and then took it somewhere else to add the captions? I don't know. Will did a lot of speculating about how she made the video. Why she made the video. Yeah, why not just broadcast it normally? It was community television, right? Couldn't be any worse than the Naked Banjo guy. Yeah, exactly. Some people thought it was a protest or something, but I know she didn't have anything against the station. To me it felt kind of urgent, like she would have done her broadcast through the proper channels, but something came up, a crisis or something. Well, at least we were able to progress. That's what I'm happy about. The video began with footage of the outside of a building, and then entered the building. Was it day or night outside? It was day. When the camera exited the building again, was it day or night outside? It was night. How often did it happen? A lot, dozens of times. It went on for years. We even thought about asking the police to look into it, but it's so hard to locate a pirate signal. I mean, it could come from any direction, you know? It's all just waves. Exactly. Question. The camera passed through several doors with inscribed labels. Please write down the sounds you heard as the video passed through the doors with the following inscriptions. Travel. Footsteps. Nourishment. But somehow out of these I want to say a sort of clink, like coins falling into a cup. Diesel engine sleep. No. A fire burning. Weaver's video showed up again right before the flood. Actually, I think it might have been the last thing we ever broadcast. Alright, let's go to the table. It's going to be questions about the questions now, or what? Okay, location updating effect on emotional memory. Subject is bored but not confused, probably just came in a little distracted. Of course, boredom while recalling anxiety yielded no new information. Just record this whole set as is, with a note like, was not yet adjusted for time of day or weather, so it'll need to be thrown out. Damn, this is taking a while. Daryl will be heartbroken if this is the only box we get through today. The poor thing, he's like a paper butterfly. I would say a moth. Left or right? Right. Oh look, can you read the date? Damn, I can't read it either. It may not have even been current. I remember for a while we had a calendar up that was like years behind. I think Daryl liked the picture? What was it? Best friends. Every month there was a different pair of animals that were friends. That's adorable. I think I'm gonna be sick. You didn't remember that? That weird intern brought it in from home. What was his name? Who? Oh, you remember? He was always like... I mean, we would make fun of him for... Damn, he's almost completely gone from my brain. So many interns coming and going then. I guess I didn't even bother to remember their names. I wonder who was working back then when this was recorded. Is there a tape of the monitoring room? Yeah, here it is. Oh, before we check that out, did you flip the calendar forward or backwards? Forward. Oh, weird. They usually flip it backwards. That's the same with left and right. Most people choose left, as far as I remember from some other experiments. Okay. The cat follows. There she goes. Wait, do you think... Did she follow them out? Oh, well, here's the last extended monitoring tape from the dog when they left. Now, where is the cat? Not here. See, told you it was one of those distillery guys. I guess you were right. These other guys came to pick him up for work, maybe? I don't like how they all hang out together. It's creepy. We hang out together and work together. Yeah, but it's not... They're like more than co-workers. I don't know. I just get this awful feeling whenever I see them. Like I knew them once, but not anymore. Like when they make up a dead person to look like an old photograph of themselves. Sort of familiar, sort of strange. Yeah, exactly. There ought to be a word for that. Bye, kitty. They look like nice enough people. I'm sure she's very happy with them. Yeah. Whoa, somebody left a scratch ticket in this file. Pseudo cash. Do it. Okay. Let's see. $5. This is the greatest day of my life. Oh wait, it's expired. Like, really expired. Damn. I'm over it. So, this has been a bit of a memory trip for you, huh? I bet you didn't expect these old tapes to stir up so much. How much does it feel, or how does it feel for these people to come up again? Weaver Marquez and Wise Will? I mean, what was your boyfriend's name? The one who died in college? Charlie. Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet experience, actually. Like looking at photographs of people who've died or moved away. People that are gone. Gone, but not forgotten. No, not forgotten. You're right. Oh, strange sequence. Or perfectly normal, because, you know, it's Kentucky Route Zero. It's a different way of interpreting it. Look at those easels and tables on the beach over there. They call it an open-air gallery, and probably something more upscale like al fresco galleria. They say it's a popular design in foreign cities like Paris and New York. That may be true. The appeal is clear enough, I guess. Anyone can wander in and out. There aren't any walls or doors, there's no roof either, just a kind of thin cloth membrane. Not quite a sheet or a tarp, but more like a drape of rolled out spiderweb. Looking like it might bunch up and dissolve if it ever got rained on. No concern down here for rain. Everybody thinks they're inside just because they can't see the sky, but it's a microclimate down here, and it surely does rain. Right now they're exhibiting some intimate photographs of small town life. The highlight of the show is a large print of an old man's face. The photo is titled Walker. His eyes are kind of closing, or maybe opening. Probably closing, because of the scale of the thing. You can see all the crumbs in his beard. No, not food crumbs. Crumbs from sleeping outside. Reviews have been good. It's a popular show, probably because of its relevance. The town depicted in these photographs, or in these photos, was very recently flattened to make way for a big museum project. Ah, so that ties back into the overworld then. Where all the other houses are, so we might even know that old man. Don't remember the people inside the museum caravan place. I took a nap, or Ezra helped Kate forage for mushrooms. Yeah, let's forage for mushrooms. Why not? A grove. There's really nothing quite like this. And the art style is strangely nice and evolving somehow. What's with this pile? Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Pluricibella porogens. Common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate springy texture and they're tasty, like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Okay. So he takes a small bite and ruminates. What do you think? Is it supposed to be spicy? No? Go ahead and spit it out, it's okay. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms, they escape your erudition. The more you know about them, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize though. Look, see the sort of greenish pallor of the cap? Amanita phalloides. That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom and phalloides means never mind. Can you eat it? Only once. It's deadly poisonous. Death cap, that's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought that they deserve a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great, look for... Actually, just grab any mushroom that catches your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what we've got. Have fun! That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is, ask Kate before eating anything, okay? It's interesting how these are just two complete separate things. I wonder if this is more like talking about the surroundings So maybe I should go through this a little. She lit this second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of the hospital entrance. So she stood by a hot dog cart, parked at the edge of the sidewalk. She kneels in the grass. She parts the grass with her garden knife, studiously combing the ground. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he considered it part of his job, she thought. To offer his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside the hospital. There are no mushrooms in the grass. Yeah, there wouldn't be. I was thinking that doesn't relate there. Okay. Kate digs in a patch of dirt. No, tree roots. She spots a couple of intriguing growths along the roots of the tree. A speckled white ball and a cluster of softly glowing amber caps. Had she ever tried any alternative medicine? Acupuncture? Homeopathy? Ayurveda? Magical thinking? She said she'd never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Speckled white ball. Speckled usually means bad as far as my super basic mushroom knowledge. Glowing amber caps. The mushrooms are slick, sticky to the touch, like they're covered in smoldering honey. Cut the bundle of mushrooms from the tree roots and puts them in her bag. Some mud off her boot. Okay, didn't find anything? That's okay. Just found this one. Kate takes the bundle of amber caps from her bag. These ones are really cool. See how they kind of glow a little? It's not enough to find your way in the dark or anything, but still pretty amazing. Anyway, I make a tea out of them. Pretty good for headaches. Kate puts the mushrooms back into her bag. So... he will poke around the base of a cypress tree. A brownish clump of mushrooms feathers out from the base of the cypress tree. A few feet above, several pale blue puffs cling to the trunk. He didn't like to play in the house, it was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. But he liked to play in the woods behind the house. The woods were full of deer. His dad said the deer liked best to live on the edges of the forest. Recent development in the area had created a lot of fresh edges, so they massed here and sometimes ran into the road. Look at the blue puffs, I guess? He prods one of the pale orbs with a stick and it cracks open a little, releasing a fine dust into the air. He felt like the world outside the woods had somehow slipped away while he was gone. And now there was nothing but the woods. He kept going. Ezra carefully removes a puffball and puts it in his bag. He closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm. Then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was the bird. The big bird? A friend, whose name I can't remember. It was something very normal, I remember that much, but... you ever brought her out there somewhere? Julian. Yeah, Julian. He's gonna come find me in the morning after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. We used to spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now we're pretty much just work. But maybe that will change now. I have some new friends. Do you have a family? I left home when I was very young, not much older than you, actually. Years later, my mother got sick and I tried to visit her, but it was too late. She was all spaced out on fevers and morphine. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the mucky mammoth feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. What's this island for? It looks like someone made it on purpose. Oh, right. It is kind of nice, simple shape. Pleasantly minimal island geometry. I'm sure it could be natural, though. I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something? Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. It's a mystery. I'll search for clues. She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Examines a large stone monument. Yeah, let's learn about the island. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Well, read the text. Rock graffiti, X+0 forever. Kissing and a hug forever. Okay. Look around the shore, I guess. Steps on a plastic bottle. A wooden post projects from the sand nearby. Pick up the bottle, because we can. There's a scrap of paper inside the bottle. Ezra takes it out and reads it. Eggs, flour, Chardonnay, laxatives, paper towels, scratch ticket. Alright, what have you got? That stone face monument has kiss and hug forever painted on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hug and kiss forever? Yeah. Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever. Can we do something about the cats drifting by? Xerxes and Oliver? What do you think that monument is for? I'm not sure anyone remembers. I can't hear myself think over these cats. I found this message in a bottle. Looks like somebody's grocery list. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us, but we can ask him back on the boat. They both look at an old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is, the Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. What do you think of it? Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade, with the car game light. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Have you ever been aboard? Oh no, I've never even been close. I have to admit, I'm a little curious, but... well, sometimes places get an aura of the forbidden about them and it just seems best to stay away. Plus, it would ruin the mystery. Yeah, someone told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. Yeah, the sound of like 5 million cats. She was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on a rowboat and got swept up in a current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive. Close, but eerily silent? It doesn't seem silent to me. The only sound, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull and a faint sort of... well, she said, a chorus of mews. Yeah, we heard that. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. I've never gotten close enough to the ship myself. You just did. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard. No people, I mean. There must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the Echo. Hey, maybe there are some mushrooms growing in there. Slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. More mysteries. They do pile up over time as people forget the details. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. Kinda. Well, can't walk anywhere, so just click the button. Not yet. So now let me do anything? No. Then why give me the option? I don't get why it gave me the option. Well, that was interesting. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. It looks like it might be a spiral all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony takes place. The Locky Locks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said that they should just go with Lock or Luck. Or split the difference with Look, or even Lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Greta Luck and Norm Luck were high school sweethearts. They took a chemistry class together where she challenged him to shoot the moon, learning formula and compounds well enough to answer every test question exactly wrong and achieve a perfect failing grade. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. Okay, let's see. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Locks of the Luck Family Nut Company. Surely someone in the branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry on the brain. This is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they... well, let's see what the options are. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Fix up a mushroom stew, yeah. Scene 7. There's a lot of scenes. Nice boxers. Boxers and a hoodie. That's what you wear. I had a few of these really big cabs, and then with the slimy gills. I shouldn't say slimy. Moist. The lady in the video called for Portobello, but I prefer never to know a mushroom by name. Yeah, it's a little different approach, huh? So is this a breakfast stew? It will be, but not today. The stew is for tomorrow. It has to simmer all day. Some things are just better done slowly. We've added the anonymous mushrooms, so next we, I've got the recipe video on pause next door. I used to follow a recipe I learned from Ida herself, the best cook you're going to meet on this river. Of course, it had a few secret ingredients. She has the good sense to preserve some mystery around her cooking. Better for business. Ida is so shrewd, she swore me not only to secrecy, but to ignorance. I had to promise to forget the recipe just as soon as I'd cooked it. Let me tell you, it's not so easy to forget something on purpose as you may think, my friend. Not so easy. So, we can collect sounds, huh? How is there a cat purring noise? From the stove? I don't hear cat purring there. Okay. Just seeing if we can go upstairs. Seemingly not. Hi, Shannon. Video. Crushed tomatoes, salsa, or even a little ketchup. Here's the thing. Nobody has to know. Throw in some more of that spice blend we threw together earlier. Stir all that up and crack a beer, baby. You'll be here for a while. What did she say to do? Will's trying to make the stew right now. Well, what was the last step he did? He put a couple of mushrooms in, then I think he forgot what he was doing for a little while. Maybe we can help him figure it out. I got kinda sucked into this program. I like the little bugs at the bottom. Gonna say that's enough. Let's go back. And even that wasn't enough to convince her. So I trained rigorously in the art of forgetting, studying for months under a master amnesiac. Finally, I learned to forget so quickly and accurately that I was able to convince Ida to share with me the most obscure secrets of her kitchen. As a demonstration of my trustworthiness, I forgot the names of my own parents, right there in front of her. Every time I wanted to cook this legendary stew, I'd call Ida up on the telephone and ask her for a quick, temporary reminder. Here on the boat, we haven't got a phone line, so I have to seek out culinary wisdom on videotapes of cooking shows. So back to the matter at hand. Next, we... tomatoes, yeah, and then some salsa. Oh, it's you. I thought... Never mind. Hello. I don't have any crushed tomatoes. I have some ketchup. That'll do. Did you win anything? I've misplaced the damn ticket. I'm sure it'll turn up. Hey there, could I ask you... Wait, why are you cooking? We're stopping at Sam's and Ida's in 20 minutes. It's for tomorrow. Oh, well, just don't forget about it this time. I'm not scrubbing up any more boiled over sludge. Yeah, that's not a fun process. Sorry, listen, I have a favor to ask. There's a package for the telephone exchange, and I can't get the mammoth back there. Could you deliver it for us? Thanks a lot. I've got the dinghy all ready to go. Maybe take your friend with you. One of you can man the outboard motor, and the other can aim the flashlight. It's dark. So I guess we have to do that anyway, whether we went mushroom picking or not. And then it's so quiet on those screens. Unbelievable. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and light disturb the bats. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed their name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam's and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop, take a look at it. It's really sort of, I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. I guess we're just going forward. Let's see. And we have blue with us. So I can shine the light forward. Oh, kind of 3D actually. Yeah, seems 3D. That's kind of cool. Very unique. We claim these helmets in the name of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of the power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find, and we will guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from the power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just try it and we will see what happens. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in, where your folks worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, but I think really, realistically it's sure angry. Mainly just hurt. Yeah, everybody's got their own way, I guess. This probably stirs up, I mean, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. And I didn't even know it in the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. It's a fine memorial, I guess. Dark is dark. Hello, friends. Weird distillery friends. Just casually waving. They're still creepy. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy? Just sometimes I forget I don't even really know you that well. Yeah, well, that makes two of us. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know. Get it all together on a plan, consolidate it. That sounds like a really bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. They've got a whole process figured out. Doesn't mean it's a good process. I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even for me? Hey, why not? Seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? And besides that, you're young and smart. Plenty of time to bounce back from... whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss Ira, Lisette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much. but somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. I don't need a truck? Well, kinda. No, that's very... Sure, I could keep an eye on it for you, until you get it straightened out. Who's passing by? Sure, okay, sounds good. Who's there? Visitors to the Echo River, Kentucky Tomb Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspect to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The Kentucky Tomb Bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. So I guess we do it like this. No waving this time. I guess it's the same ones. I'm gonna assume that we will have to, because he also doesn't. Of course, he can't move the boat because he can't see, right? That makes sense. Bat fact: ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything, so bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. Sometimes it's hard to know with people too, yeah. Oh yeah, like, how about this weather? I guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get to the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like. Find out if they're friendly or angry or drunk. Wonder if I should periodically just turn off the flashlight so we don't get attacked. Damn, it's really dark down here. Are you still there? Sorry, just thinking. Yeah, it's a reflective kind of place if you're that kind of person, which I think you are. What are you thinking about? Just thinking. Nothing. Bats. Yeah, hard not to, huh? I was thinking about Lisette. I actually think she'd like it down here. She's always liked old things and empty places. I mean, places that are full of weird stuff, but they still feel empty. Like the Wax Museum. Bat fact. The Kentucky Tomb bat natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects, and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little grey nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the Kentucky tomb bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predators found other food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentucky tomb bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systematic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River. Along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Lethe. Along the Echo River, and the shore of Lake Lethe. In order to minimize the sanctuary impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute it throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. It's all fake except for the bats. I wonder how the bats would feel about their guano being taken out like that. Maybe it's better they don't know. Like bat plumbing. I mean, I never think about where it goes, do you? Right, it is reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. Yeah, who's gonna build the people hibernaculum? Maybe we'll build it ourselves. Maybe we already did. Like the folks in the mine, he said they used to buy stuff, fans, canneries, and all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered, but human. I just mean all people need is enough to pretend we're home and we can make it anywhere. You get kind of philosophical when you're drinking. Did anyone ever tell you that? Yeah, I guess I do. Nah, this is nothing. I used to have this drinking buddy who would get loaded and tell the weirdest damn riddles. Like, which is more musical? A truck passing by a factory or a truck passing by a music school? Count your blessings. Which is more musical? A truck passing by a factory or a music school? Well, that depends on the road service, because you have these road services which will play a song. I know we have a couple in the Netherlands, actually. I've never actually driven over them. Should actually do that at some point. Maybe we should grab that umbrella. Or this one. Bats seem to be freaking out, so give them a moment. They're still flying. Okay. I thought it was caused by our flashlight, but... So what's this? Just some sort of box. Sign. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentucky tomb bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Kentucky tomb bat hibernaculum and sanctuary, please make sure your Please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. It's a lovely name to keep reading out loud. I hope you're having fun. So what about this monument? Wasn't the monument supposed to be before the cave? Well, we seem to be going through some sort of big arch. Central Exchange, okay. Well, I think we'll have a lot of people to talk to. Seems like a busy place. I mean, busy in this kind of place. Let's talk to ourselves first. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You too. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean keep your eyes open and don't look back. Hello, Flora. Flora, oh hi, I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. I think I'm more classical myself. That sounds like the same thing to me. Okay, bye. Okay. Hello, Dashiel. Could be bypassed with another capacitor. 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuits are too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to ground. Huh? That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiel Morris, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring those old bells. So I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack? I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance. A train station? That seems weird. What happened to it? Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folk. WEVP, that's community television. I've volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple of times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives and was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. What's the plaque? Cool birds, by the way. Giant pigeons. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. Both, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise, or Eloise, would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby to delight or embarrassment. Word spread and travelers passed through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. Well, it's a unique backstory. Hello, Poppy. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? That's weird. There's no label on it. Well, if we're lucky, it's chocolates from a secret admirer and not a snake from an assassin. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping off the package. Kate, I love Kate. She helped deliver both my nieces. One in a hospital and one at the base of a mossy, moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her too. Oh, Loretta used to work here, actually. Actually, I think quite a few of our former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. As you can see, all their chairs are empty. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work on the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Mary, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, and Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Mary finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at her rude collar, but he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jaina, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. Power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing, and they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left on one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at the private PBX. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling business to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Booze? Extended technique? Sounded pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high, he'll burn out the relay. So, where was I? Extended switchboard technique. It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row with that upbeat dynamic inflection that they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It was very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? No, that's... Someone needs to take care of the automation. Are you lonely? Sure, this place feels different when it's empty, all to the touch. And, you know, it really is all about touch. Here, sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in the ear, so my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch. An intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you, they have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator lights switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? You know, there's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? A rough estimate. At least a month. That's what I said, but this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you just quit? In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. It doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. I did click the arrow button. Am I now controlling them? No, I'm not. So what, only blue is left? What if I click the skull? What's happening? End of scene? She returned on the dingy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work. The hardest work the dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into the weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride away on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated alongside in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments. She leaned out over the water to get a closer look. He just started working for the day, so his stock was full. He pushed a few bouquets her way. First was a rustic bundle of mums. He suggested it would make an appropriate apology bouquet. Next, a simple mixture of snapdragons, made to look wild. She thought it looked eager, and he agreed. Finally, a rustic mass of blue petaled flowers of many different types. He said it was for a particular kind of person. It didn't remind her of anyone in specific. She'd better move on. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into two categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source of these, because its current was so unpredictable and the tunnel so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours, cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it. Though it was so unpredictable, he was so focused on details, he just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then, she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. I'm still wondering what if I clicked the skull button instead of the curving arrow. I mean, in general, you don't want to click the skull button, right? A moment of silence is good for my throat, though, I must say. There's a lot of text in this. It's like I'm reading a book, I feel. Which makes me think, like, are there, people just doing their own audiobooks? Not on Spotify or something like that? Just a person making YouTube videos for that? It's probably a very small audience, I'm gonna say. The Salmon Idas, okay. Well, this is very slowly going up. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna be calling this one here. It feels that this act still has some more give. I am also curious what is gonna come out of this, but and I'm wondering where Conway is. Guess the distillery people took him. But we didn't see him in the boat, so I don't know. There's someone there. Sam. Okay. Well, that's gonna be next time. It's just I don't even know what to say about this. This game is so intriguing in funny ways. So for now, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you guys next time. See you, dudes.